Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about emotional intelligence. That is the last segment in your soft skills topic. We'll see every point in detail here. Already you have uh, Hello everyone. Today we are going to deal with the last topic in our soft skills talk, that is emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence and how it differs from the emotional mind, and what is the difference between the IQ and EI? Why EI is required to the present generation students, and what are the tips to develop your emotional intelligence? And we are going to see the aspects or the qualities or the features of emotional competence. So these all topics you might have already learned in your CSS classes, right? Again today we are going to discuss about all this topic, a small revision of it. Okay, so what is emotion? Throughout our life you have different shades of emotion. Emotion doesn't mean only sad emotions. There are happiest moments also, happy, joy, right? When you spend time with your friends, that is the happiest moment. When you spend with your family members, so there are different shades of life with lot of emotion. If a person doesn't have any emotions in his life or her life, the life will just become a mechanical life. It will just like an instrument, a machine which doesn't have any feelings. Emotion means a feeling. Okay, when the person have any emotions, some nervous system works in our body, that is autonomic nervous system, which makes a person feel emotion. Okay, emotional. So what we first will go with the topic emotion. What is emotion? How this word emotion derived from? It's actually a Latin word from the verb motere, means to move. Since emotion calls for action, if suddenly someone gives a surprise news, definitely your emotion will be in a surprising way. When you receive us bad news, definitely our emotions will be different. So whenever some emotion arises in our body, we do some or other actions, right, to be taken to either move away or to face it and fight. Means either the person faces it or other the person move far from that particular incident or from that particular emotion. Okay, the emotional mind, this mind is different from your thinking mind. Emotional mind is far 1,000 times better than the move fast than your thinking mind. So the emotional mind recognizes something that challenges our safety and considered it an emergency. Something you can call it as a sixth sense. My sixth sense tells that if it will happen in so and so time or so and so thing will happen to me. So this all is known as emotional mind. So emotional mind immediately responds to any emotion. Okay, it immediately responds. So something that challenges our safety and considered it an emergency. We constantly face such situations in our life. We always face such type of situations where we have to use emotional mind rather than our normal thinking mind. It is if a threat is strong. If a threat is strong, then what? The accompanying, the emotion which comes with it is also very strong. Of course, what happens? All the emotions are not negative. There are also positive emotions, right? As well as when we feel we are not under threat, when we are relaxed, definitely at that time our positive emotions will arise. Next one, emotions automatically bring about certain physiological means some biological changes in our body. Okay, changes like what? Increase rate when you wait for your results. Okay, like faster earthing, faster breathing. Next one, heightened muscular alertness, etc. This type of scenes you can see in your movies when the hero gets anger and when he is holding his fist, you can see a muscular alertness there. Okay, high rise of muscular. These changes provide an energy that helps in acting instantly. Okay, this type of biological changes which comes in your body they provide the energy to help us to act instantly in that particular situation, for how to respond. For instance, see this example. When you think that you are so tired and you can't even lift your leg, assume that a barking dog is just coming towards you. You're sitting on a stone, you're walking on a road, you're so tired, you're just taking rest. From the other side, there is a barking dog just coming towards you. By the time you are sitting, you thought that I can't even lift my leg. Then, when you see a dog there just coming, rushing towards you, what you will do? You will just sit there, or simply you will run from there, or you will just search for a stick or a stone to make the dog move away from you. So at that time, from where you got that energy? That is the hidden energy you have. So here see the example. When you face a barking dog, you would either try to run away from that place or as soon as you can, or get ready to confront it or fight with it. For both decisions, you need energy to act, right? So emotion plays a very crucial role in our lives. We cannot imagine our life without it. If you remember a movie, Race Gurram, in that Shruti Hassan's character, if you see that the girl, she doesn't show any emotion when they are stuck in that lift. The hero is so scared and he was full of, he's showing his emotions, right, that he is in a scared way. But here the actress, she is not at all showing any emotion. So the person may gets actually afraid of that particular girl, whether she is a live person or a dead person. So in that same way, the person who doesn't show any emotion in his life, what happens? They can't enjoy the moment, every moment of their life. It will just becomes a series of incident and it is just a mechanical work, right? We will not be able to experience joy when our favorite team wins a match, be able to move out, or when we get selected for a scholarship. These are the examples. Suppose if an Indian cricket team is going to win the final match, when you have one ball to for one run, then what happens? The audience, what the emotion, they have different type of emotions. When it really wins the match, what the emotions of that audience will be in no limit. They will show their emotions, their joy in the form of just howling or just laughing with a loud sound, right? So in the same way, when the person doesn't show any emotion, what happens there? They can't even enjoy a single second of their life, a single moment of their life. We will not be able to parent children or someone dear. We will not feel sad when we are far from ones whom you love. Suppose they are parted, they are moving away from you. Suppose the person is dead. Whatever the situation comes, whenever they move away from us or whatever the incident happens, if you won't show any emotion, what the person will think? That the person, he doesn't have any feelings. So our feelings we show with our emotions, right? So or at the loss of someone near, we will fail to get angry even if someone scolds us or humiliates a lot without any reason. Even then also, if you won't get any emotion, if you won't show any emotion, then the person simply says that they may misunderstood you, that this person doesn't have any sense or doesn't have any feelings. Even the person is humiliating too much also, he don't have any reactions. Actually, for every emotion you have some or other reaction should be shown, right? So life would then just be a series of events that we go through mechanically as a machine works. as a washing machine works. How much load you just put on it, it will just work and work and work on. It won't show any feelings that I'm tired or I'm exhausted. It won't say anything. So our life will be also just like that, like machine. Emotions are reactions arising from autonomic nervous system. What is this autonomic nervous system? It is the nervous system. Okay, what happens? It is responsible for controlling our bodily functions like heartbeat, our breathing. These are just gone. This type of functions are just going on in your body unknowingly. You don't know when it is going on. Now when I am speaking also, my heartbeat is running, right? So this is not controlled by me. This is controlled by the autonomic nervous system. So in the same way, our emotions also arises immediately. So which we have little control. They are a survival tool there. During emergency, the extra source of energy is generated. Just now we have seen the example of a dog. There what happened when you are tired and sitting on a rock, then what happens? The energy is generated immediately. According to the situation, according to the problem what arises, the energy, you don't know, the hidden energy just arises immediately, okay, with the threatening situation. However, not utilizing or harnessing, controlling the power properly. If you won't control your emotions properly, or if you can't utilize that emotion properly, as we have seen in the previous example, when the person get insulted, even then also he or she is not showing any reaction towards it. So not utilizing or harnessing means controlling your power, emotional power, can be disastrous. It's going to be a dangerous one. Channeling means putting it in a proper direction, in a right direction and in a productive manner, can bring rich rewards to the person. If he controls his emotion, or if he puts in a proper manner, definitely he will get rewards. What is, now we'll see what is emotional intelligence. We have seen about intelligence quotient, right? IQ. This is the standard. If the child is very clever in his childhood, even at his old age also he will be same, his IQ level is same. But EI changes here. What is the difference? Now if you compare the today's generations to children, their IQ level is too high comparing with the previous generation. The child of even 2 or 3 years can operate the smartphone very easily comparing to the elder person, right? But their emotional intelligence is lacking. That's why now what we have seen in the present generation, that lacking emotional intelligence bring lot of disaster in their personal life and their professional life. They can't able to adjust with the other person because they don't have the capacity to understand the other person's emotion. They became so selfish, self-centered. They just want to lead a happy life on their own. They don't want to adjust with the other person. So this is all because of the nuclear families, the electronic gadgets. Day by day the technology has been increased. There is a particular generation is moving towards the technical knowledge. The technical knowledge is very high, their IQ is very high, but emotional intelligence is lacking. So emotional intelligence is the capacity to use and channel emotions appropriately. What is it? Use and channel means utilizing and putting in a correct direction or a correct position is a emotional intelligence. So it is a capacity to recognize our own feelings, manage them well. So you have to find it out where your emotion is high and where you are showing less emotional. Okay, so there you have to recognize your own feelings and manage them well, and also understand the feeling of others. This is the most important part. Now the generation is lacking. They don't have the feeling, they don't even understand the feeling of the others. If you compare the feeling, or if you see the family, the children, they don't understand the feeling of their parents. Okay, because they're so pampered that whatever the child is asked, they're just giving them. They don't have, their parents are even not teaching them that they have to think of all the things, how they are getting all this, whatever the wishes they are putting forward towards the parents, right? Emotional intelligence is also about managing interpersonal relationship. This is interpersonal relationship, having a good relationship with the other persons. Okay, if you work in a company, or if you work in an office or in an organization, there what you have to show? You have to show your emotional intelligence, because if you have a good emotional intelligence, you can cope up in that company, or else you may quit from that particular job because you can't able to adjust in that particular environment. So in other words, what we can say, it's an ability to train and use the emotional mind. So you have to train your mind that I have to adjust in this environment and I have to work with the other people who are in this company. So recent research reveals, although the present generation, already I discussed this one, their IQ has been increased by almost 24 points from the earlier generation comparing. Our EI has decreased significantly. So we have seen a lot of diverse cases, suicide attempts, alcoholic, they are becoming, right? So these are all the reasons, because you don't have a control over your emotional intelligence. So decreased significantly. The current generation is most emotionally disturbed. When they wish for one thing, if the parents won't fulfill that, they simply go and they just threaten them or do suicides. What is there lacking? The emotional, because they are emotionally disturbed. So the student, apart from the education, they have to educate their mind also, that I have to strong enough so that I should not disturb with the small changes which are happening in my life. So average, we are more lonely, depressed, frustrated, because if you won't show your emotions to the other person, how the other person is going to understand you? In the same way, if you won't express, if you won't share your feelings, the other person, you won't understand what the other person is also feeling about you. So in that way, they are very lonely, depressed, frustrated, aggressive, unruly, nervous, impulsive, and prone to worry. Right? They're always in a worry situation. Even in the small stress also, they can't even bear that stress. So they are going in depression. So on the one hand, there is increase in the number of educated persons. Okay, there are a lot of educated persons, lakhs and lakhs of people are educated yearly, and they are getting also better paying jobs also. They can purchase whatever they want, and the EMI facilities what the shops are giving, they just utilize everything, and they are just spending a sophisticated life. Okay, the better facilities and greater purchase power. Comparing with the previous generation, now this generation couples, they are enjoying more better facilities because they are better paying jobs. They have a jobs in the MNCs, right? They have lakhs of salaries. What's the satisfaction they don't have is that they don't have the emotional intelligence, means they don't have the understanding of emotion of each other. The couples, they don't have have the what you can say, that they don't understand each other very nicely. The adjustment nature is lacking. So in the same way, here ironically there is also increase in the rate of suicide, crime, substance abuse, means they are addicted to some alcohols or some drugs, and divorce. Improved emotional intelligence directly contribute to our mental and physical well-being. If you are emotionally intelligent, then your mental and physical health is also perfect. If when you're mentally fit, you're perfectly healthy also. So you have to make yourself mentally fit first. When your emotional EIE is perfect, definitely your health is also going to be good, and your lifespan is also going to be increased. And in the same way, what happens when you're happy, you make your surroundings happy and make the people other happy who are with you. Therefore, people with a high EQ, emotional quotient, are known to have a healthier, happier and longer life. So instead of IQ is required, but only IQ is not sufficient to lead a healthy, happier and longer life, right? With it you need emotional quotient also. Now in this, while our IQ is almost static, is almost fixed throughout our life, it won't change. When the child is of 3 years, his IQ is more. Then even when he gets the age of 90, his IQ is same. It's fixed. It's not going to change. We can continue to improve our emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence can be learned throughout your life. For this, we must first understand the emotional mind. What is emotional mind? How it differs from the regular mind? How it thinks? Okay, now we'll see the certain characteristics of emotional mind here. Emotional mind is quicker than our thinking mind. Our thinking mind, okay, comparing here. It acts within 1,000th of a second. In 1 second, it thinks 1,000th time. Okay, how this much fast our emotional mind is. Emotional mind focuses more and carries a strong sense of certainty. Whatever he does, he feels that, he says that definitely that work is going to be happened. Okay, next one, emotional mind reacts to the overall picture, not only the verbal but also the non-verbal communications also. If you say, remember the movie July Maybe, in that the hero his emotional mind reacts to the overall picture when he goes on a van. Yes, right. So there he observes their non-verbal cues also, not only verbal but also non-verbal cues. So emotional mind is very fast there and is able to assess things for the first impression. By seeing the first time, just they guesses. Next one, emotional mind is like a radar in situation. It's like an antenna. As the antenna receives the rays, signals, in the same way emotional mind also receives the signals whenever the danger arrives or comes, can offer. Then at that time it gets an instantaneous assessment, quick assessment to help to avoid that danger. You will just escape from that danger with immediate assessment or judgment, right? The reaction of the emotional mind is very short lived. Okay, it won't think for a longer time. Suppose someone hurt you when you were in school. Even now also you're holding that thought and you're just carrying when you have completed, you're going to complete your degree also, or after when you become 60 also you will remember that thing, right? So emotional mind is very short lived. It won't think for a longer time. Next one. According to the earliest researchers of emotional intelligence, Peter Salovey and John D. Mayer, they tell that emotional levels, according to them, you have 4 emotional levels, emotional intelligence levels. Here, first one is perceiving emotions. Okay, next one is understanding emotions. reasoning with emotions and regulating with emotion. For all this we are going to see each and every example which is very near to our real lives. Now, perceiving emotions. So what is perceiving emotion? The ability to perceive, understand, okay, assess and express emotion accurately and appropriately. Okay, what is it? Perceiving emotions means here you will just express emotions accurately and appropriately. This involves when you can show accurately and appropriately when you observe and understand the non-verbal cues. When you understand these signals, at that time your emotions are going to be appropriate and accurate and correctly. As well as non-verbal signals means body language, facial expression, tone and pitch of the voice. These all things include. When you observe all this, then your emotions are going to be accurate and appropriatively. Next one is understanding emotion. Second one is understanding emotion. Here the ability to understand and analyze emotion and to use that knowledge effectively. Understanding the emotion of yours, our own, and the emotion of the other person. For example, here your friend who is so daily, when she comes to the college or whenever you meet, she is very close and very frank to you and she is very friendly, but all of a sudden she stops talking to you and she is a little bit irritated with you and she behaves in a rude manner. So immediately what's the spontaneous thought will come arises in your mind is that what happened to you, what happened to her, okay, why she is acting in such a way. There might be some reason behind it. If you really love your friend, you will think in this way. If you won't, what you will think that though I am talking to her, but she is responding in an over way, so I am going to cut her from my life now. I'm not going to continue my friendship with her. In that way we start thinking. So here in this, if your emotional mind is good, then you will think about the good reasons why she is behaving in that manner. For example, your friend who is normally quite polite and friendly with you, but suddenly she is rude to you. Okay, you need to think the reason why she is upset. Okay, she might have a fight at home. The reasons may be any reason. Maybe worried, she might have missed the deadline for an assignment, or as an anxious about something. So these any reasons may be. There may be lot of reasons why she is behaving. If you think with an emotional intelligence or with an emotional mind, you will just guess why she is behaving in that way, and you can save your relation in that manner. Next one is reasoning with emotions. This is the ability to use emotion to formula thinking and reasoning in the course of a day. Throughout the day, you may have feel so many actions, okay, around you, like that angry, you might have sadness, afraid, jealous, happy. These are the different emotions you might have throughout the day. However, it is the ability to decide. Suppose when you when you went to the college or when you went to somewhere else, you might have faced some strange or afraid. You might have afraid of something, or you are sad by seeing something. Now it depends upon you that whether to hold that afraidness or to hold that sadness throughout the day for 24 hours or throughout our life. It depends upon the particular person or the individual, right? So it is the ability to decide what we need to pay attention to, what is important to me. I have to think on it. I should not give importance to the thing which happened bad to me. Now you have to think that if you think only of the bad, what happened to you in the morning, throughout the day, if you think in the same way, you are putting your maximum energy in it. and you can't able to think in a positive way. So you are paying more attention to these two things. Though there is a lot of happiness happen, lot of things good happen in the rest of the day, but you are just focusing on this, so that what happens, you can't enjoy the other moments. Simply take an example. When you woke up in the morning, your parents scolded you, okay, or your brother scolded you, something happened bad in your family, okay, someone scolded you very badly, and throughout on that day you have a friends party, you have a good planning throughout for the whole day. So what you will do, you will just remember that incident, or you will enjoy this one. It depends upon the particular individual, how he thinks or takes the things. If you forget this thing, and if you want to rectify why they have scolded you, definitely next time you won't repeat it, and you will enjoy the rest of the day. So in this way, the mind plays on which how you pay the attention. Next one, how to regulate our emotion. The regulation is important. This is the last of the level. The ability of the mind to control. Regulating means controlling emotional mind. If you are so aggressive, if someone scolds you, if you are so aggressive in nature, what you will do? You will just take a pistol and you will just fire him? No, you have to control your emotion, because if you won't control your emotion, if you won't harness your emotion, it's going to be a disastrous one. Already we have learned, right? In a way that helps in both intellectual and emotional growth in most important characteristics of EI. Uncontrolled emotions like excessive anger, fear, jealous, etc. can hamper our ability to think clearly and maturely. If you won't think properly, means if you can't control your emotions, then you can't think clearly and maturely, means you can't take the decision properly in time. For some time now, researchers in the field of psychology have begun to understand emotional intelligence has a much stronger role in the success of person. So according with EQ, EI is also important. So emotional intelligence, you have to show your intelligence when you move with your person in the society, or when you are in company with the other people. So it is now a new measuring stick. Before, success means the person is highly intelligent, highly intellectual persons are qualified or success in their life. We used to measure, that was the yardstick of success. Now for today generation, what is the researchers saying? That EI is taken as a new yardstick of success. It is being recognized that we have a thinking mind as well as a feeling mind. Feeling mind means taking the emotions of the other people in consideration, right? Now we are going to see the next one, the aspects of emotional competence. Aspects means the qualities or the elements or the features of emotional competence. Competence means the ability, right? So emotional competence, showing the talent, that is dependent. So emotional competence is dependent on EI, and we have altogether 10 points under this heading, aspects of emotional competence. We will see each and every heading with this different examples. So EI is a learned trait. It can be learned. It can be learned as a behavior, right? The thing is, you have to control your emotions. You have to focus on your emotions, right? People who do well in their career and life have developed this competence over the years. Only IQ or hard work is not enough to become a person successful. EI is also required. We have seen so many people as an example of, if you take the example of Dhirubhai Ambani, so here though he worked in a petrol bunk, but his attitude, the way of thinking has led to the emotional competence, and the emotional intelligence made him a successful person in his profession or in his career or in his business, right? To be emotionally intelligent, we need to develop the following qualities. What qualities we have to develop, we'll see. First one is self-awareness. You have to be aware about yourself, what you like, what you don't like. Actually, we focus more on others. We know everything about others, that they have so and so qualities, they have so and so traits, but when comparing with them, when you come to yourself, you don't know what is your emotion when you get hurted, when you get happy. So you have to focus more on yourself and be aware about yourself. Emotional competence begins. First point is self-awareness, knowing yourself, knowing oneself and recognizing one's own emotions. It seems strange, right? Actually, we focus more on others. We don't focus on ourselves, right? So that is because we spend more time focusing on others and observing others' behavior. Next one in self-awareness involves emotional awareness and accurate self-assessment. You have to judge yourself very accurately, okay? And you have to aware about your emotional feelings also. Emotional awareness is the ability to recognize one's emotion. Okay, how you feel when someone appreciates, how is your feeling when someone won't appreciate you, at that time how you feel. So these type of emotional regulations, when emotional awareness you have to find. If the other person guesses or finds out your emotional feelings or emotional awareness, then he will just play with your feelings. Okay, it has on us and others why we are feeling the way we are. In an emotional state, it is difficult to think. If you are emotionally weak, at that time you can't think or you can't take any decision. Okay, or you may be confused. At such times, sitting quietly to analyze one's feelings help. At that time you just simply in silence and think about it, and you will definitely get a good result. But these type of patience are lacking in present generation students. Next one is emotional regulation. How to regulate the emotions. Anyone can become angry, that's easy. This is a quotation said by Aristotle, a nice quotation. Anyone can become angry, that's easy, right? But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose and in a right way, that's not easy. Okay, that's not easy. A great word said by Aristotle. So now we'll go with the emotional regulation, how to regulate our emotions in our day-to-day life. So when the emotional mind senses a threat, we said that emotional mind is different from the thinking mind and it works 1,000 times faster than the thinking mind. So when it senses a threat, it prepares us to act. It immediately gives spontaneous instructions to us that you have to save yourself from this particular threat or the challenge. However, the nation needs to be appropriate for the situation and context, neither too mild nor too strong. We have often heard this expression, seething with rage. We have seen this example. The person who gets angry, he just get so arrogant or aggressive that he can't control his anger. Scathing remarks, saying abusing words, madly in love. So these are the emotions which are not in control. They can't regulate their emotions. Paralyzing fear means he or she doesn't have any fear for doing wrong, right? Such strong, unbridled, uncontrolled emotions are harmful to oneself and even to others. So emotional regulation is also important, very important, right? When you are living in a society with the people around you, if you don't have any control over your emotion, if you can't control your emotion or you can't regulate your emotion, it's hard to survive, or the people may make you isolated. They won't ask you, they won't mingle, they won't permit you to mingle with them, right? So emotional regulation is about controlling and managing our emotion. This is the point you have to keep in mind, that controlling and managing our emotion. According to the Daniel Goleman, an author of the path-breaking book, that is Emotional Intelligence, there is no fundamental skill more fundamental than resisting impulse. So here, a person with high emotional intelligence will certainly know how to regulate and channel his emotional responses. The person with high emotional intelligence. So what I said, that emotional intelligence is required to the person to become success in his life, right? If the person with a high emotional intelligence, he know how to control his emotion and how to put his emotion in a proper line or a proper channel. For example, if you see here, when you have suppose your friend has borrowed a money from you and she said that okay, she is going to pay the amount tomorrow itself, but even after the week also she is not even responding and she is not giving back the money which she has taken, then at time what happens? What the first thought you will get immediately? That next time I won't give her money. Okay, then what happens? If you think in that way, though your friendship is so close, okay, but she is a childhood friend, your friendship bonding is so strong, then once she does like that, you're thinking definitely if she comes to know that you have thought in that way, then your relationship is going to be break. But if you take time and think that why she has not returned the money, you will come to know that she might have some trouble. Then you will realize that okay, saying that all the things which I have thought in a negative manner, if I would have said to her, our friendship would have been broken. So in that way you can save your relationship also. So here, restrain yourself and try to find out the reason. You may learn that his mother has been hospitalized and he incurred or she incurred with unexpected expenses. When you understand this, you are no longer angry with her, or you can save your relationship. So when you have an emotional regulation, not only this is a simple only one example, coming to your family, coming to your personal life or the professional life, you have to control your emotional regulations. If you have a control over your emotion, definitely you will see a good result and you can definitely save your relation and you can lead a happy life. Next one is the resilience. Resilience means having the capacity, elasticity capacity. We can say that the elasticity nature. When you stretch a rubber, what happens? It stretch and again it comes back to its position, right? It won't be too long, and until you hold that elastic, it will stretch for that time only, then again it comes back to its original position. So resilience is also in the same. So whenever the situation, suppose a bad situation arises in your life, so don't hold for a longer period of time, just leave it and move ahead. Go with the brighter life, see the happiest moment in your lives and move ahead. Now in life we come across many situations like angry, sad, depressed, anxious. If you are resilient, if your nature is resilience, strong, make us cope well and overcome them without being in a stressed emotional state for a long. You won't be in a stressed moment for a long period of time. You will just leave the matter there itself and you will continue your journey, right? This helps us to move in life smoothly and overcome hurdles, learn from each problem and be prepared to face further challenges. If you hold the only one single problem which arises in your life throughout the life, if you hold it, what happens? When the other problems comes, you may get depressed or you may get so weak that you can't even hold that problem. At that time, what happens? The students, they are doing, the present generation students, what they are doing? They are committing suicides because they can't able to manage that stress. Next one in it is trustworthiness and conscientiousness. Okay, what is trustworthiness? Trustworthiness means the people having the trust, means the person who is emotional intelligence or who is having a control over his emotion. The people usually trust them, believe them, right? This is conscientiousness, means alertness, the vigilance. Okay, now being honest, if you are honest enough, definitely the people around you will trust you, because everything they feel that whatever they share with you, they have a trust and believe you that whatever I share, it is just limited to them only, they are not going to violate it. Now here, personal integrity determines the character of a person, making them reliable. People start believing them. It provides emotional strength and self-confidence. What is it? Emotional strength and self-confidence is built. Trustworthiness at the personal level also means being competent, putting one's best efforts into doing a job. Trustworthiness and competence go hand to hand, right? What is it? Trustworthy person being having a competent nature. He always puts his best in doing whatever the work is given to them. So that type of persons have a competitive nature, and it both goes hand by hand. People with this trait own up responsibilities for their performance and are ready to accept their mistakes also. If something happens, if they have taken some job, if they have taken some work, okay, when they were allotted some work to do, or some project has been given to them, so at that time when they have taken the responsibility, they take the responsibility of the mistakes also. They don't just skip from that mistakes if some wrong has been done. Okay, they have the guts to accept it. So this skill makes one more organized and accountable when the mistakes have been done. So next time when the work is taken by him, he will take all precautionary methods not to repeat the same mistake again. So they keep commitments, they are ready to take commitments. Okay, they don't escape from the work. So these skills are rated as superior and valued workers in all contexts. Next one, courage. This is also an important trait. If the person have emotional intelligence, emotional competence, they have to have the guts to face the courage also. It is human that makes mistakes. Okay, knowingly or unknowingly we make lot of mistakes. Then if you make a mistake, in the same way before also previous slides we have seen in the trustworthiness and conscientiousness, there the person, if he takes the mistakes, if he accepts the mistakes also, he has the guts. In the same way here also have the courage to accept the wrong which have been done by you, right? So accept responsibilities, don't scare to take the responsibilities, because sometimes it happens that you might have done some mistake, okay, and is willing to face the consequences. Suppose you have done a mistake, then you definitely have to face that, the result what is going to be. So when you face that, when you have the courage to face and accept that wrong, such persons will also not hesitate to take up challenges. Definitely they will take challenges and they will learn new from it, however difficult they are. Next one is adaptability. Means adapting the new changes in the life, okay, or the new ideas, new innovative ideas which comes, or which has been said by the other person. You should not think that I am very intelligent, so my idea should always be implemented. Whatever I said, it is correct. No, it is wrong. So what you have to do is you have to accept the other person also. So adaptability is also the other trait in emotional intelligence, right? Those the people who are adaptable and open to new ideas and are flexible, not rigid. The flexible means easily adjustable, even even ever ready learn and adjust to various situations. They see new opportunity in changes situation and do not feel upset and annoyed. They won't get angry with the newer developments. Okay, they are able to revise their plan and able to simultaneously handle different situation by giving priority or giving the importance. So we have seen the different traits. Now we'll go with the innovation. Is having a creativity or creative thoughts or creative knowledge, thinking out of the box skill, right? Being flexible. When he has a nature of adaptability, definitely he is of flexible nature, right? So his ability, one's ability to generate new ideas, thinking out of the box, is thinking differently, being creative and accepting ideas from different sources. Yes, and when whatever the new thoughts are said by others, you just accept so that you can also change in your thoughts. So people who are innovative will try to think of various ways of doing the work and solving the problems. They are always looking out for novel things or new things to do, keeping their motivation high. Next one is drive to achieve. You have to always have the what you can say, a mantra that can do, okay, instead of giving up. The word motivation itself, we know that it is derived from a word motor. So it's like the word emotion, it is derived from the Latin word motora, right, meaning to move. Already we have seen. In that sense, both emotion and motivation drive us to act, right? What is it? Emotion and motivation drive us to act. Means we are going to do whatever the person. Suppose, for example, at the time of independence war, the people's emotion and the motivation of the leaders, what happened? They move the other people to do into action. Means they all come for the freedom fight, they all struggle for the freedom, right? So their emotions and the motivation both drive us to achieve our independence. Being always ready to learn, always ready to learn, setting reasonably high goals and striving to improve performance and important traits of an emotionally intelligent person. Such persons remain committed to their goals, are determined and displayed a never say die spirit. What is it? Never say die spirit. Next one is sensitivity. Sensitivity, the word itself, that you have a sensitivity towards the feelings of the others and feeling towards your own, right? So to be able to understand other feelings and needs is an essential part of human being. This quality also forms an integral important part of emotional intelligence. Till now, whatever the things we have seen, whatever the elements we have seen, that all will help you to develop your emotional intelligence, right? People with this skill are kind. What type of person they are? They are very kind-hearted, selfless, not selfish, selfless. They are ready to help without any benefit from the other people, and are always ready to help others. They share their skills and mentor. What they do, they share their skills. Suppose the person is good in some skill, Suppose we think that the person having a good computer skill, okay, then what he will do, whatever the skills he know in the computer, he will just share it with the other people. He won't just preserve it with him, and he will mentor and he will guide the people to help them to grow, and he will help. Definitely the other person should also grow in his life. So that type of mentality is getting rare in these people today's generation. They often put others' need before their own. So they give importance to others first, then to themselves. The word selfless itself means that they give more importance to the other people. Next one is a social competence. Okay, social trait. Say, no man is an island is said by John Donne. So man is a social animal said by Aristotle. So man need people around him to communicate. So he is a no man island. Okay, so he can't, as an island, he is surrounded with lot of water. He doesn't have any connectivity with the rest of the part of the world. In the same way, if a man is like an island, he can't survive in the society. He needs people around him. So we are social being, and therefore we need people around us. Our social groups are made up of different type of people with different backgrounds, different religion, caste, everything, their thinking, thoughts. Even in the family also we have different thinking styles. Gender difference to play an important role. Coming to the society, you should not show this biased nature. Being able to understand the differences, yet not have a prejudice or a bias towards the other groups in social competence. People with this skill can get along with the others. If you show this biased nature, you can't mingle with the people in the society. If you won't show this partiality or a prejudice, definitely you can get along with the others very easily, and you can become a good team player, or you can run your team very effectively, and you have a good communication skill. When you have a good communication skill, definitely you will mingle with all the people very easily, right? Next one, how to develop your emotional intelligence. This is the last part in your emotional intelligence topic. Okay, now what are the tips how we can develop our emotional intelligence? Already there are small we have discussed a lot in the previous sections. Now here a little effort if you put, definitely you can improve your emotional intelligence. As I said that it is like a behavior, it can also be learned, right? With sustained and honest effort, one can learn to be emotionally intelligent and be a successful and effective human being. When you think that okay, I want to develop my emotional intelligence, then you have to put one point in your, always you have to focus on your thoughts. What thoughts are running in your mind? So you have to focus on your thoughts, then you can go with your emotional intelligence by observing the people. Okay, here are the few suggestions. Now here the first point, when you get angry, when you get aggressive, when you can't control your emotion very easily, then what you have to do, you can count till 10, drink some water. By that time your impulse get cooler. Okay, your eyes, and take a deep breath, walk away from the spot. So this you can do, right? If there is an argument, heated argument is going between the two people, or between you and the other person, then simply you can do that. Instead of involving yourself in that argument, you can move from that place so that the discussion is completed. It won't be arised anymore, and the situation after some time definitely it will get settled. So what we do is, if I won't talk in that time or in that moment, then I'll become weak. So you are also involving yourself as rash as the other person is involving himself. So if you want to avoid from all these things, so just use your emotional mind and get away from that place. Next one, do not make an immediate judgment, just postpone it. Okay, we Indians are more hurried to make a quick judgment. So don't do the judgment immediately on the spot, because you're thinking, you're emotionally at that time when you make a judgment, you're emotionally weak at that time. When you are doing a lot of argument, or when you are angry with someone, if you take a judgment at the immediate second, what the judgment is going to be? It's going to be wrong after some time if you see it. So just postpone it for some time. Okay, don't take immediate quick judgments. Express your emotions assertively, always positively, not aggressively, because people can't accept this nature. Okay, if you want to tell something, tell in a positive manner, so that the other people, even if you won't, but after some time he will definitely accept it. Do not have a rigid attitude, have a flexibility, have a resilience capacity. Okay, be flexible so you can see another's points of view. Don't always put your hand front. Okay, don't think that I'm clever, every time my word should be kept fast. So be flexible, so that the other point, what the other person is telling you, just listen, whether it is right or wrong, you just give importance to the other person also. Next one, be aware and control your non-verbal communication. This is more important, because action speaks more louder than words, right? Your facial expressions, tone, pitch, voice, hand gestures, everything counts. So you have to be very aware about your non-verbal communication. Sometimes you say that I didn't said any word to her, then also she is reacting in that way. Maybe your non-verbal behavior, postures, or your body language might have hurt the other person. Next important point is, be alert of the non-verbal cues of others while they express their anger, irritation, sadness. Okay, just miss here you have to improve your reading skills. What reading skills? Body language. You have to make yourself so perfect to read the body language of the other person, whether the person is in angry. Suppose your mother is angry on that particular day, but if you are not understanding her body language, you just simply went and start chatting what all happened in your college, what all things you spent with your, what all what you did in the what you can say in the mall, when you went to your when you went to with your friends, all that happiest moments you are just going to share with your mother, who is in anger now. When you start sharing that happy moment with your mother, is she going to accept all that? No. Immediately you will get a reverse reaction from her. So at that time, if you would have learned that her body, if you have learned her body language, that she is angry today, then after some time when she gets cool, then if you tell all these things to your mother, she will take all the things in a positive way and she will enjoy with you whatever you tell to her. Next one, try to be helpful and useful to others. This is very important again. Try to be always helpful and useful to others. Don't be selfish. Be selfless. Don't think that if I help her, what help I am going to get in the future from her. Okay, is she going to be useful for me if I move with her, or if I make friendship with her? If you think in that way, you will never get a sincere friend in your life, right? Be proactive when an opportunity arrives. When a chance comes, don't wait for a turn that someone comes and tells to you to continue the work. Okay, just do it immediately. Don't wait for and start the work, whatever it is. Next one, try to improve and maintain your social skills. Social skills means how to move with the people around you. Use humor to diffuse a tense situation. Suppose there is a tense situation arised, little bit tension is there in that particular situation, in that particular instance, then what you have to do? Instead of raising the tension, if you crack some jokes or make the other people feel happy, definitely that tension situation is going to be diffused. Okay, na? It's going to be removed. Next, when upset, share your feelings with someone. When you are feeling lonely, when you're feeling upset, this point you have to keep in mind always, that you have to share your feeling with someone whom you trust. Whom you trust means a trustworthy person, who is a genuine person. With them you have to share your feelings, so that at that time they will give you a genuine suggestion to how to come up from that situation, right? I hope you might have learned how to improve your emotional intelligence, how to enhance your emotional mind, how emotional intelligence is going to help you in your personal life and in professional life. Okay, enjoy your online classes. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.